following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Friday night, Dodger Stadium, the Expos in town, Montreal, trying to keep pace with the Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies in their National League Eastern race of 1978. The Dodgers trying to put away the Astros and the slumping Reds. And Doug Rauch, a big night. He gets a win. He strikes out 11. He got a lot of help from Rick Monday, too. In the fifth, he hit an RBI single to score Dusty Baker. 1-0 Dodgers. The Expos would tie it in the seventh. Ellis Valentine, a solo shot, his 10th of the year to make it 1-1. Then the Dodgers put the Expos what they hoped would be away. Steve Rogers uncorks a wild pitch to score Bill Russell. 2-1 Dodgers. Then Rick Monday with a sac fly to make it 3-1 Dodgers. Chris Spire got it to within 1 of the ninth. He hit a solo shot, but Doug Rauch closed the door. 2 runs, both earned. He strikes out 11 on 7 hits and no walks and goes 6-5 on the year. The Dodgers are a 40-win team in 1978. The Expos are right around 500. They'll play next on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1978. Today, Saturday, come on, open up, June 17th, 1978. From Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Montreal Expos. Rudy May for the Expos and Bert Hooton for the Dodgers. Brought to you by DigitalTodice.com, the best darn podcast on the interwebs for your sports simulation and replay needs. Go to www.digitaltodice.com today or find us on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And good afternoon to you. My name is Ron Junkett. We welcome you to the show. Montreal and the Dodgers here on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. It's a beautiful night in LA. 70 degrees. It's kind of cool for the 17th of June, Father's Day weekend. Good crowd on hand to see the Dodgers and the Expos go at it. Bert Hooton looking to become a 10-game winner for Los Angeles as they are 40-22. Montreal right around 500, which is still better than where they really finished in 1978. Their miracle year would be 79, and of course they would contend the next 3 years. So this one should be fun. I think everybody's healthy for the Dodgers, and all the good players are playing for Montreal. By the way, if you're watching this live, we'll tape an Al Kaline special game from 1961 tonight, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go back to the game I put up from 1961 for Al Kaline. So there you have it, the Dodgers and the Expos next. And Robbie gets another anti-vaping ad. Mr. Time Machine gets a Magic the Gathering. Good morning, Lorenzo and John. From the left coast, John got a Sprint ad. How are ya? So Bert Hooton is 9-3 on the year. This is his 13th start. Tommy John loves Happy Hooton. He's already gone 9 complete games. He is a fastball pitcher who tops out at 85 and keeps the ball on the ground. Against the Phillies 5 nights ago, he went the distance to pick up his 9th win. He allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 4. He has not faced Montreal this year. So in 100 innings, he's allowed 93 hits, 41 runs, 37 earned, 13 homers. He's walked 17 and struck out 42. And this will be the lineup he will face. Dave Cash leads off at second base. Stan Pappy is at short. He'll bat second. Warren Cromartie in left will bat third. Tony Perez, the first baseman, cleans up. Ellis Valentine, who had the home run last night for Montreal, will bat fifth and play right. Andre Dawson will hit 6th in center field. Gary Carter behind the plate bats 7th. Larry Parrish at 3rd will hit 8th, and Rudy May is on the mound to bat 9th. Well, Houghton, as I said, in 12 starts, has thrown 9 complete games. Defensively for the Dodgers, Dusty Baker is 7 and a 4 in left. Everybody's favorite Expo killer, Rick Monday, is a 4 and a 3 in center. Lee Lacy is a 5 and a 6 in right. And the game has him as Leon, and someone told me that is actually his correct first name. Never seen him referred to that way, but I guess it's right. Ronnie Say's at 3rd, he's a 7. Bill Russell is an 8 at short. Davey Lopes a perfect 10 at 2nd. Steve Garvey a 9 at 1st. And Yeager a 7 and an 8 behind the plate. Dave Cash steps in at 271. 5 homers and 26 RBI. Doing okay, Robbie. You know, the usual. Crappy sleep and all that. So Houghton's ready, and so is Cash. And we are underway. Up the middle, Russell over to first, and that's how this one starts. Appa Chatter, how are you? Big old Stan at 228. Pappy has driven in 2. 13 for 57 on the year. DC loves the low-scoring games. Man, that one flew yesterday, huh? Pitch to Pappy. Struck him out. He got him on an 0-2 off-speed pitch. And there's 2 out for Cromartie. At 284, 3 homers and 21 RBI. How you doing, Mr. Forsberg? Yep. Last night, yeah, you missed it. We talked about this. 7 Eastern time. 4 Pacific. And we will be doing a tape game for Al Kaline tonight, so you can see it tonight. We're going to go back to 1961 and relive a game against the M&M boys. Clinton's watching Maury Povich. Clinton's not the father. Cromartie is at 284, 3 homers and 21 RBI. The correct team also won. Yes, they did. Pitch to Cromartie, struck him out, so Houghton gets 2. Again, a curve on a 3-2 count, strike 3 looking. No runs, no hits, no errors. Half an inning in the books, no score. So Rudy May making his 16th start of the year, which is incredible because he only made 23 in real life. 6 and 4 with a 3.48 ERA. He is a fastball pitcher, a fly ball pitcher, which should do him well here at Dodger Stadium. And the fastball is at 86. So May in his last start was against the Giants on June 13th, I assume, out in San Francisco. 7 innings, 4 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He did pitch against the Dodgers in Montreal in the 9th. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5. The Dodgers beat him that day, but he got a win against the Giants in his last start. So overall, 101 innings, 87 hits, 41 runs, 39 earned, 10 homers. He's walked 40 and struck out 63. The lineup that he will face: Davey Lopes leads off at 2nd. Bill Russell is at short. He'll bat 2nd. Steve Garvey at 1st will hit 3rd. Ron Say cleans up at 3rd. Dusty Baker and left will hit 5th. Lee Lacy bats 6th in right field. Rick Monday in center will go 7th. Steve Yeager behind the plate will go 8th. And Bert Houghton on the mound through 12 pitches in his half of the first inning will hit 9th. And so defensively for Montreal, Warren Cromartie's in left. He's an 8 and a 5. Andre Dawson an 8 and a 6 in center. Ellis Valentine is a 10 in right and a 10 arm, if I remember correctly. No, not your holiday rapping skills. Larry Parrish a 5 at 3rd. Stan Pappy is a 3 at short. No Chris Spire. Dave Cash is a 7 at 2nd. Tony Perez a 7 at 1st. Gary Carter an 8 and a 7 behind the plate. And Rudy May is a 7 on the mound with an .880 fielding percentage. War-wise, wins above replacement for Kaline. 61 was his best season. His best OPS plus season was 1963. Of course, the Tigers' best season was 68. They won the World Series, but he wasn't all that great that year. So trying to find a year where K-Line was super and the Tigers were good, we go back to 61. The Tigers won 95 that year and didn't win the league. Did I give you Lopes' numbers? 280, 7 homers, and 22 RBI. Infield back, pitch to Lopes, ground ball to Parrish, over to first, and that's how this one starts. Brings up Bill Russell at 247, no homers, and 24 RBI. May comes set. Here's the pitch in the left center field. Dawson has it for the out, 2 away. Yep, and as Clinton says, K-Line was such a leader, which makes a world of difference even when he wasn't doing so well. And let's be honest, K-Line was never bad. He aged, but he was never bad. But what he meant to the Tigers just is overwhelming. He meant as much to that team as Ernie Harwell did. And Mr. Forsberg met him at a banquet and got his autograph in 1983. It's back with his heyday working television with George Kell. Steve Garvey at 317, 9 homers, and 43 RBI. Pitch to Garvey is a ground ball, base hit right side. And so that's the first hit for anybody, and Garvey's on first. He certainly was a class act, and Mr. Mike got his 3,000th hit last night. With his mom and dad in attendance from August of 1974. K-Line, I didn't know until last night, was from Baltimore. Ron Say at 250, 10 homers, and 34 RBI. Pitch from Say is a fly ball to center field. Dawson's there, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We've played one, no score. And so, as we focus on the National League this time around, the Dodgers have won 8 of 10, including last night in their lead over Houston's 2. Cincinnati showing some signs of life. They've won 7 of 10. But they're still 5.5 out of first. They are not a good road team, the Reds. They're 15 and 17, and only 15 and 16 in the division. In the East, Montreal has scuffled, and their run differential has crept to none. They've lost 4 straight in 8 of 10, and they've fallen 7 back of Pittsburgh, and 4 behind Philadelphia. California, who we featured yesterday against the Yankees, they won, and it's a 2.5 game lead over Kansas City. And the Yankees' lead over Baltimore is now half a game. But the Orioles have lost 2 in a row. And at 70, they had the best run differential in the American League. The Pirates have the best run differential in the National League at 73. And never forget Disco Night in Chicago. Was that against the Tigers? Tony Perez at 296, 5 homers and 35 RBI. Hooten delivers, struck him out. That's 3 for Bird. And he's on a roll right now. Here's Ellis Valentine at 206, 10 homers and 28 RBI. Hooten's pitch, that's in the left center. Back goes Baker. He'll make the catch against the warning track. Baker had to run and leap to get the catch. The knuckle curve is dancing. Here's Andre Dawson, 270, 12 homers, and 34 RBI. Top the second, no score, and Dawson draws a walk. So the full count was high and inside, and that brings up Gary Carter at 241, 9 homers, and 28 RBI. Clinton says, I think 55 was a better season even though WAA was .2 less than his WAR was. His lone 200 hit year, his lone batting crown. I think 61 would be a season that people can appreciate more. And the game I picked out, he went 4 for 5. So, July of 61 against the Yankees at Tiger Stadium. Pitch to Carter, struck him out. That's 4, and that's that hard curveball for strike 3 call. The Expos, no runs, no hits, no errors. They leave a runner after an inning and a half. After that, there's still no score. Yeah, Chicago did have to forfeit game 2. I look at OPS plus. That tells me I think more than WAR or whatever WAA is. Because that tells you just how you did compared to the league in production, in a percentage. Dusty Baker, Lee Lacy, and Rick Bunday here in the bottom of the second. Dusty at 284, 3 homers, and 25 RBI. Pitch to Baker is in the center field. Dawson is there. 1 out. There's Lacy at 272, 8 homers, and 28 RBI. You know, the funny thing is, Kaline finished second that year, I think, in 55, right? Never won an MVP. And I was surprised at that. Lacy in the left center. Dawson is there, 2 out. For Andre, that's his 5th catch. And we've only played. That's 5 outs. He's made every out in the game. Here's Rick Monday at 276, 9 homers and 29 RBI. Pitch from May. Monday into right. Valentine finally gets it, and that will retire the side. So the Dodgers go in order in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, Montreal nothing, the Dodgers nothing. Tribe fan only has 135 more minutes of work left. So Larry Parrish, Rudy May, and Dave Cash to face Houghton here in the third. Parrish at 252, 3 homers, and 18 RBI. Pitch from Houghton. Ground ball to Garvey. Takes it to the bag himself, 1 out. So Rudy May is hitting 074. 2 for 27, but both those hits were doubles. And he has struck out 9 times. That's kind of like the old Richie Allen playing on the AstroTurf thing. If I can't smoke it, I don't want to play on it. And if Appichatter can't calculate it, I don't really use it. Pitch to May. Got him. That's 5 for Houghton. A 2-2 on the black on the outside corner. And there's 2 out. So through 9 batters, Houghton at 37 pitches. 2 2/3 innings, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Cash is 0 for 1. Pitch from Houghton. There's a liner into right field. That's going to drop in front of Lacy, and that's the first hit for Montreal. So both teams have a hit. Pappy is 0 for 1. He has struck out. Ground ball. Garvey takes it, and it's off his glove. But he underhands it to Houghton because Pappy's got my speed, and the side is retired. Oh, it hit him in a bad spot. So Garvey's going to have to wonder what he's going to be putting the ice bag after the game. It just took a funny hop, hit him in the cup, and he underhanded it to Houghton. And so Garvey takes an extra moment between the white lines and just kind of composes himself. Tommy asks if he's okay, and Stevie says, yep. It's like pitching stats, he says. I still do strikeout to walk calculations. I think that says a lot about control. Yep. OPS, I think, is the most useful stat. A big 2020 FM streamer Zealand is playing a World Cup. This save, great content. Reminds me of some bozo that calls baseball games at noontime. Smooth delivery is encyclopedic knowledge of his games. And the best part is Zealand is American, a rarity in the British-dominated FM 2020 stream world. Nope. Okay, so Zealand. Zealand. Who did Ed Farmer get in a fight with? With Al Cowens. Okay. So Yeager, look at the right side, Ronnie. Houghton and Lopes to face May here in the third. Steve at 211. 6 homers and 24 RBI. Pitch from May. Yeager is a base hit into right center field. So that'll set up the bunt for Houghton. Perez and Parrish come in. Houghton can hit. He's hitting .300 with 4 RBI, 9 singles. Bunt is down. Carter throws to first. Cast covering, and that's an out. So 1 out, and Yeager moves to second for Lopes. May through 9 batters, 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits. 26 pitches so far. Davey Lopes is 0 for 1. Pitch from May. There's a ground ball to Pappy. Yeager will hold, throws to first, and that's an out. Would Ryan have 500 strikeouts today? No, but I bet he would have 300. He wouldn't throw that many innings anymore. So Zealand has a live and extensive YouTube channel with many teaching vids. And trust me, for that game, you need to be taught. Bill Russell's 0 for 1. Pitch from May is into right. Valentine is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 3, it's the Expos and Dodgers scoreless in Los Angeles. Yeah, Chicago and Detroit were old rivals. Now, Nolan learned in time to throw strikes. And then he's the one that taught Randy Johnson to harness this stuff, too. Nolan's in his 70s, but 300K isn't out of the question. Too true. Cromartie, Perez, and Valentine here in the 4th. Dodger Stadium playing like an offensive park today. Lefties at +4 in the batting average. Righties at +1. Home run percentage is +12 for lefties and +13 for righties. And that wind is blowing out to right center by the scoreboard at 13. Houghton struck out Cromartie his first time up. And Warren laces that one into right for a single. So that's the second hit for the Expos. Brings up Tony Perez, who also struck out his first time up. Pitch from Houghton. Struck him out. Goes down again. This time he swung on and missed on an 83-mile-an-hour changeup. So 1 out. How many? I have no idea. Not 6 or 7. That is the actual. That's whatever this is in the Seam Heads database. I don't know if the game adjusted or not. Is that Nolan quote true? Just before one of his no-hitters, he said, gave the catcher a tiny baseball or a BB and said, "I'll be throwing these today." That sounds like Ryan for sure. I don't know if that quote is true or not. Pitch to Valentine is a liner in the right field. Lacey will grab it on a hop. Cromartie will hold it second. And the Expos have got something cooking here in the 4th with 1 out. Brings up Dawson, who walked his first time up. I've never heard that story. I like that one. That sounds like him. Then again, one of my favorite stories in baseball is something that I've been told isn't true. Pitch to Dawson. In the left field, Baker for the out. Cromartie will hold, and there's 2 out. So if you remember back in 2004, after Alex Rodriguez had signed with the Red Sox, and then the Players Association nixed the contract because he agreed to take a pay cut. So he ends up with the Yankees. And so one of those games at Fenway Park, he and Jason Varitek got into it. Carter, by the way, struck out his first time up. And so Rodriguez got plunked. And the bench is cleared. That's the one that Varitek gave him a fistful of glove. One of my favorites of all time. And the quote that was attributed to Varitek, because Rodriguez was claiming that he was being thrown at, Varitek supposedly said, "We don't throw at 260 hitters." And I love that. Turns out it wasn't true, but I absolutely love that. Pitch to Carter is into right field. Lacey will come in to make the catch, and that will retire the side. Expos get 2 hits, but that's it. No runs and no errors. After 3.5, it's still no score. So Garvey, Say, and Baker. Steve singled his first time up. Rudy May cruising right along here in the 4th. Pitch to Garvey, ball 4. And, of course, all of this is stuff you'll never hear on a Fortnite stream. Probably something Pedro said to Gerald Williams. Did Gerald Williams ever hit 260? I loved it when little Tampa tried to get in under Pedro's skin. This is before the Devil Rays were any good. And Pedro would just shut them down. Pitch to Say was 0 for 1. Fly ball to left over to Cromartie in territory. No. And somebody from Santa Barbara made that play, and the count is 2-2. May's pitch. Say popped up left side. Poppy has it for the out. So 1 out for Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 1. Pedro would say that eating a thing of mangoes, I think. Pitch from Rudy May is into center field. Dawson has it. Garvey goes back. 2 out for Lee Lacey, who's 0 for 1. May from the wind. Line drive right to Pappy. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, it's the Expos nothing, the Dodgers nothing. So Parrish, May, and Cash. Is that right? How old is Lasorda? Being told that Lasorda is now the oldest living Hall of Famer. Kaline was 85. I bet you're right. 92. So Kaline wasn't as old. Wonder if Tommy and Yuppie exchanged Christmas cards. Pitch to Parrish. Into right field. Lacey in the corner, and he makes the catch against the railing. 1 out. So Rudy May struck out his first time up. Hooten delivers. Got him again. An 0-2, swung on and missed. He took something off of that pitch at 75, and that's 7 for Bert. So 76 pitches through 18 batters, 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Cash is 1 for 2. Pitch from Hooten, and there's a liner in the right field. Lacey picks it up, and that's the 4th hit for the Expos. Tommy is the hint for my secret word of the day. Woo! He sure played a mean pinball. All right, new followers to the channel. We told you about Game for Life last night. Or Game Life Game last night. Edward Meek, my buddy on Facebook. How are you? 91, he's a new follower. And how sweet is this? Nellie loves Carl. Now, I hope that Carl knows that Nellie loves him. But that's awful sweet. So you 3 are my latest followers on Twitch. You make 84. Pappy is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Cash not a threat to steal. Ground ball to Say over to Lopes, and that will retire the side. So we'll talk about the secret word in a moment. Halfway home, we still are scoreless in Los Angeles. And yeah, big clue. Won't get fooled again. That's the who. So spaghetti sauce is the secret word. There we go. That's a spicy meatball. Tribe fan got his ad from Sprint and Butterfinger. You better don't lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Rudy May, 4 innings, 2 hits, and a walk. And Bert Hooton is fan 7 through 5, walked 1 and struck out 4. So spaghetti. And the game recap is blank because we haven't had any runs. And so thank you for the bits, Lorenzo. I still love the YouTube viewer who suggested the Slim Fast spaghetti sauce. That was great. Monday is 0 for 1. It'll be Monday, Yeager and Hooton. Discover in the Navy. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand. Pitch from May. Monday strikes out. Swung on and missed a 2-2 fastball. That's first for Rudy. And that brings up Steve Yeager, who singled his first time up. 2 hits for the Dodgers, 4 hits for the Expos. Montreal is stranded 5, New York 3. 1969? For what? Pitch to Yeager. And there's a line drive into left field, and so Yeager's going to get a single. Tommy was released in 1969. Oh. Lasorda was a manager in Montreal back when the Dodgers had their farm club there. Perez and Parrish play in for the bunt. Hooton squares. Good bunt. Perez comes in. Only play is to first. Cash covers. Yeager moves to second. Nope. No, it's just a way that I have to do my barking dance to get my bits. And maybe a little kibble. So here's Davey Lopes. He's 0 for 2 through 18 batters. Rudy May, 59 pitches. Oh, Tommy was referring to Lasorda. Yep, Tommy Lasorda. 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 59 pitches, a walk and a strikeout, and I went there with a Who, which I will not sing. Wonder if barking bit. Yeah, barking bits, as opposed to kibbles. Pitch to Lopes. There's a line drive foul, third base side, and somebody from San Pedro always making plays. A pinball wizard. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid can sure play a mean pinball. Kind of interesting, and again, this is stuff you don't hear on your Fortnite streams. A conversation about Tommy Lasorda, who is the ultimate in 50s Italian, turns into a rock opera. Pitch to Lopes is a base hit up the middle. Yeager is going to try and hold. He's going to hold. Lasorda throws up the stop sign, and runners in the corners. And yep, Tommy Lasorda is the Tony Bennett of baseball managers. See, I was wondering if Mr. DJ was there. Billy Russell is 0 for 2. Runners in the corners, no score. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Pitch to Russell. Ground ball to Poppy. Flips it over to Cash, and that will retire the side. So everybody's lines are the same. The Dodgers get 2 hits, no runs, no errors. Both teams have 4 hits, and they've stranded 5. Outside of that, 0-0. So Cromartie, Perez, and Valentine. Thanks, Robbie. I got to do a response to that one. We got a ton of people that responded to that. Cromartie is singled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. Fouled off the mask of Yeager. That's a good sign, John, that you're busy. Yeager spits out what was ever is in his mouth, and we're ready to go. A 1-strike pitch. Ground ball to Lopes. Over to first. For the out. 1 away for Tony Perez, who has struck out twice. Hooton has fan 7. Into left. Baker has it for the out. So 2 out for Valentine, who's 1 for 2. Ellis has himself a single. Both pitchers are going to work deep. Ground ball to third. Say almost on the grass. Throws to Garvey, and Valentine beats it out. Yep, my wife can appreciate that. That's essential work. Andre Dawson is 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch to Dawson, line drive to left. Baker is there, and that will retire the side. The Expos rather get a hit their 5th, but do not score. No errors after 5.5. The score is 0-0. So Garvey has walked and singled, saying Baker to follow. Pitch to Garvey is into left. Back goes Cromartie, 1 out. And Cromartie had to track that one down. The wind is blowing out to right at 18. So a twisted catch against the warning track. And there's 1 out for Say, who's 0 for 2. Pitch from Rudy May is a ground ball to Pappy over to first, 2 out. Well, I think we were talking about over 1 million sims. I'm not sure how you do that and what engine you would do that with. So it's not over 1 sim, Robbie. He was talking about over 1 million sims. Dusty Baker's 0 for 2. Ground ball to Pappy. Throw it on the grass over to Perez, and Baker beat it out. So kind of a check swing single. And Baker is the 5th hit for the Dodgers. Here's Lee Lacy. He's 0 for 2. And he's now 1 for 3 as he smashes that one into right center field. Baker will go to 3rd. And the Dodgers have runners in the corners and 2 out for Rick Monday. Noted Expo killer. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Carter and May have a few words. How you doing, Mr. Berglund? In the center field, Dawson is there, and that will... No, he bobbles it, and he dropped it. So Baker will score. Monday will hold at first, and Lacy's on 3rd. And so it's 1-0 on the air by Dawson. So Andre throws it back in. Ooh. DJ John reminds us, do I recall the time Yeager, I believe in 76, was in the batting circle and a bat shattered and a piece of that bat went into his throat. Ow. 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 That sounds like Clint Malarchuk. Steve Yeager's 2 for 2. Runners on 1st and 3rd. In the shallow center, Dawson atones for his mistake and makes the catch. But the Dodgers score on the air by Dawson. 2 hits after 6. It's 1-0 Los Angeles. Lorenzo feeling confident. Then again, he felt confident in the first division of his Russian soccer league, too. Gary Carter's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Carter, Parrish, and May here in the 7th. Pitch to Carter, and Houghton walked him. Brings up Parrish. That's a low blow, Ron. Parrish is 0 for 2. Houghton now at 101 pitches as we start the top of the 7th. And there's a liner into left center. Carter will hold at 2nd, and the Expos have 2 on and nobody out for Rudy May. They'll play for the bunt. Garvey and Say coming in. May has struck out twice. Not sure what the computer will do here. They're going to pinch hit. So Rudy May's day is done after 90 pitches. They play back for Unser at 262. No homers and 6 RBI. And so, yeah, I think you kind of got to pitch it here. Pitch to Unser. It's a ground ball to Garvey. Russell for 1, and that's it. So they get Parrish. There's 1 out. And there's runners on the corners for Dave Cash. So through 27 batters, Bert Houghton and 108 pitches. 6 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits, no runs so far, but the Expos are threatening. He has walked 2 and struck out 7. Cash is 2 for 3. And we're talking about accurate. We're talking about within the bell curve. Ugh. Oh, Lorenzo. Ugh. Watery soup and retired female Russian shot putters as our guards. Ugh. The imagery there. Ugh. You will eat your soup. So that was Russian. I mean, that was German. Pitch to Cash. There goes Unser. Hit and run was on. Popped up. Say goes out on the grass, and there's 2 away. Brings up Stan Pappy, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Remember the Press sisters? Kind of verging into Kenny Castro territory here. No, I don't, Lorenzo. Both teams have 6 hits. The Dodgers a run, the Expos an error. Pappy, a ground ball to Lopes. He goes to second, and that will retire the side. Nancy Dell coming up. Stretch time, 1-0. And as we tell you about Bill Atkinson, who's coming in to pitch, it's just a reminder that Nancy Dell reminds you to get your Dodger dogs at Safeway, Vaughn's, and Ralph's. And remember, it's always good when the farmer is in the Dell. Bill Atkinson making his 19th appearance of the year. He is 1-0 with a save and an ERA of 4.91. He's a fastball pitcher at 95, and he doesn't favor either the ground ball or the fly ball. He last pitched on the 14th against the Padres in San Diego. 2 innings, a hit and 2 strikeouts. 25 and 2/3 innings, 22 hits, 1 homer. He's given up 15 runs in total, 14 earned. He's walked 17 and struck out 13. The Press sisters, the famous sister shot putter tandem. Was one of their names Bertha? There's websites dedicated to that stuff. So Houghton will hit here. First time he's actually going to swing the bat. 1-0 Dodgers. Here's the pitch, and there's a fly ball to right. Valentine goes way back there against the foul pole and makes the catch. 1 out. So the wind blowing out to right at 9. He gave that one a ride. Here's Davey Lopes. He's 1 for 3. Yep, it really depends on... What I wanted to say is, hey, if Jerry Remy can hit the Triple Crown and I win the World Series in 78 for the Red Sox, I'm taking it. But then again, I would be doing a one-team replay for the Red Sox in 78, and I'd want them to win. I'd be curious, though, just how many times a game designer would sim a season to see about the accuracy. It's all about math, and I told you last night, it took me 3 times to pass Algebra 1. Lopes is 1 for 3 with a single. Fly ball, left center field. Dawson is there for the out, 2 away. Billy Russell's 0 for 3. Atkinson deals. Ground ball to Parrish, over to first, and that will retire the side. So, no runs, no hits, no errors. Houghton gives me the fatigue symbol, but we'll try to leave him out. There we go to the 8th. It's 1-0. And now Lorenzo with the headphones. It's time to take a drink. 3rd time is the charm. I might have mentioned this on that stream. But I know I've mentioned this before. People will talk with Colonel Bill Staffa, who created Skeeter Software or NP3. And they play a couple of games and complain about the stats. I'm not saying that, anyone here is complaining. The stats were too hot, the stats were too cold. And he would ask, how many games have you played with the team? And they'd say, 7 or 8. Big Cromartie, Perez, and Valentine here in the top of the 8th. And he says, I don't want to hear about any stats until you've played every other team in the league once through, as in 3-game series against them. Lorenzo, I always sat near the math brainiac. Well, you didn't sit near me. Nuff said, any kids watching, I do not advocate cheating. Was she at least cute, Lorenzo? Pitch to Cromartie is right back to Houghton, over to first for the out. My little brother played status pro with me one time. He was playing 85 cards, and Ozzie Smith made 2 errors in the same inning. He quit on the spot and never played again. Did you marry her? This conversation's already making me glaze number. Too much number stuff. So the throwaway line was, she cute? And Lorenzo goes, yes, she was. And just like with anything else, and I don't dare bring up pizza because I get in trouble for that, no 2 engines are the same. Tony Perez is not like in this engine today. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And we all play with our own biases anyway. Stats are only as good as you play them. Clinton uses his own dice. He's created the Skeeter Soft game, or NP3, which is now exclusively sold on computer. Pitch to Perez is a fly ball pop-up. Lopes in the shallow right makes up for my bad play call for the out 2 away. Ellis Valentine is 2 for 3. Basically, it's an APA clone where he's made some adjustments to make it a tweener game between the basic and the master. And the Colonel created that game based on pitcher's opponent batting average, trying to get that right. Pitch to Valentine is a fly ball in the right field. Lacey is there, and that will retire the side. That was funny, Lorenzo. 7.5 in the books, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th and still 1-0 Los Angeles. So Atkinson will face Garvey, Say, and Baker. Steve is 1 for 2 with a walk. Both teams have 6 hits. The only run of the game came on a drop fly ball by Andre Dawson to score Dusty Baker. Into left center, Dawson is there, 1 away. Brings up Say, who's 0 for 3. Pitch into right. Valentine, that's foul. And somebody from Oceanside took up the Amtrak this morning and is enjoying a beautiful day at the park. 2-2 the count to Say. NPNG's a good clone too. I think that wasn't Cyrus's design. He did the computer version of it. The game is Staffa's. Pitch to Say, struck him out. He got him on a 2-2 outside the zone, and that's the first strikeout. So 2 out for Baker, who's 1 for 3 with a run scored. Pitch from Atkinson. Struck him out. He got him on a curve. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. And so Bert Houghton looking for the shutout. We go to the 9th. 1-0 Los Angeles. So Andre Dawson, looking to atone for his mistake, will lead off the inning. Carter and Parrish to follow. And following the game the rest of the day in baseball. And then a look at what we're doing tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Dawson 0 for 2 for a walk. Now I feel better about that, but when you're held in the 6th, you know, as soon as you said that, Lorenzo, Carter walked and Parrish got a single. Pitch to Dawson is a fly ball to left. Back goes Baker. Gone! Confidence and some Axe body spray will still have you stay home on a Friday night as a middle schooler. Tied at 1. Here it is again. And Baker just all could do is turn and watch it go. That was hit up in the bleachers. And Dawson makes up for the error. That's his 13th of the year. And that is definitely poetic justice. And Lorenzo gets the dunce cap. Gary Carter is 0 for 2. Oh. I wouldn't rub that in. Not at all. Let's watch this again. You can see the moment that Tommy Lasorda's heart breaks as soon as Dawson hits second. That's rubbing it in. My wife does all the time. Carter's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Pitch to Gary. Ball 4. And that'll do it for Bert Hooton. Charlie Hough coming in. Got a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Hough is 2-2 with 5 saves and a 3.52 ERA. This is his 16th relief appearance. He is a knuckleballer who keeps the ball on the ground, and when he does throw the fastball in there, hey, you're welcome, John. It's at 89. He went 3 innings against the Mets a couple nights ago. Allowed 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. And so overall, 23 innings, 17 hits, 12 runs, 9 earned. He has allowed 2 homers. He's walked 13 and struck out 24. Against the Expos on the 9th, he allowed a run on a hit and a strikeout and a no decision. The karma would be me calling a 17-inning game, considering it's already 12:51. So Carter on first, Parrish at the plate. Larry is singled. He's 1 for 3. Lacey, Monday, and Yeager will be up for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th. Pitch from Hough. There goes Carter. The throw down to Lopes, and Gary steals the base. His 5th of the year. So there's still nobody out, and the Expos have the go-ahead run in scoring position for Parrish. And the pitcher spot due up. Pitch to Parrish is a ground ball foul. Into the dugout. Ron Paranowski, the pitching coach, tosses it back out. And the count is a ball and a strike. Pitch to Larry. Struck him out. Hough got him on a 1-2 knuckler. It danced around, and now let's see who the Expos bring in with 1 out. Wayne Garrett at 367, 11 for 30, with 2 runs scored. Not a threat to bunt. Carter leads off as second. Ground ball up the middle. Russell looks Gary back, throws to first, and Gary will go to third. He waited for the throw. And so now the go-ahead run is 90 feet away for Dave Cash, who is 2 for 4. He is singled twice. 1 run, 7 hits, and an error for Montreal. They've left 8 on. The Dodgers scored on that Andre Dawson error. They've got a run on 6 hits and no errors. Pitch to Cash is a ground ball to third. Say over to Garvey, and that will retire the side. So Mike Garman coming in. It's almost free baseball time. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 1-1. So Mike give a Garman on the hill. This is his 6th appearance with the Expos. He's got 3 saves. He's a fly ball pitcher, and that fastball tops out at 87. He last went the 14th against the Padres down in San Diego. Allowed 1 hit over an inning and struck out 1. And remember this holiday season, when we're finally allowed outside, to give a Garmin. Lee Lacy is 1 for 3. He's got a single. Monday on deck, and then Yeager. Pitch to Lacy, struck him out. He swung on and missed on a breaking ball for the first out. So that'll bring up Monday, who's 0 for 3. And you know what Rick Monday can do to the Expos. He has a strikeout on the dance card today. Garmin from the wind. Gone! Good night! Drive home safely. That's exactly what Rick Monday does to the Montreal Expos. Can't show you a replay on that, but that ball was hammered down the line and right, and the Dodgers walk it off. Rick Monday, you've beaten the Montreal Expos again. 2-1. And Rick Monday, with a walk-off homer, is our Digital Dice MVP. 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. A run on 7 hits and an error for Montreal. Mike Garmin, he just put that in the absolute wrong spot. He'll take the loss. Charlie Hough gets the clean inning and gets his 3rd win. Monday, da 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 da. So Bert Hooten, 8 innings plus 7 hits, a run. The homer to Dawson that tied it. He walked 1 and struck out 7. So for the moment, the lead is 2.5. That is a finish. So let's play the rest of the day in baseball. No, it didn't. Cincinnati down to St. Louis 6-1. Tiny Bonham goes to 5 and 6. Steve Swisher. Goes 3 for 4 with a double and a stolen base. The Red Sox pound out 20 hits. Seattle pounds out 19 hits. The Red Sox win 10-9 in 14 innings. Bob Stanley gets the win. Jim Rice drives in 3 with a triple. Seattle stole 5 bases. Cleveland beats Milwaukee 8-7 in 10 innings. Jim Kern gets the win. Sixto Lezcano, 3 for 4 with a triple and a double. Milwaukee commits 5 errors. Cleveland has 16 hits. Chicago 4, Kansas City 3. Ken Kravitz gets the win. George Orta 4 for 4 with 2 RBI and a double. The Tigers beat the Twins 8-6. Milt Wilcox gets the win. Willie Norwood, his 2nd home run of the year. The Astros shut out the Cubs 7-0. Joaquin Andujar does his bit. Jose Cruz with his 4th homer of the year. He goes 2 for 4. Bob Knepper shuts down the Mets 5-2. Pat Zachary goes 1 and 8. Jack Clark with his 2 for 4 with his 8th home run of the year. Atlanta beat Pittsburgh. Gene Garber, first win after the trade for Dick Ruthven. Dave Parker with his 14th homer. Not enough. Baltimore 7, Oakland 2. Mike Flanagan goes to 8 and 6. Eddie Murray with a double and 2 RBI. California beat the Yankees 11-3, and Ron Guidry took the loss in that one, by the way. Ike Hampton with his 2nd homer in as many games and a triple. Texas downs Toronto 10-5. Ferguson Jenkins goes to 4 and 4. John Let It Be Lowenstein hits his 5th of the year. And finally, Philadelphia beats San Diego 7-3. Jim Lonborg goes to 4 and 5. Bob Ochinko to 3 and 9. The Sunday game is going to be Houston. Let's see. I'm going to audible here, I think. I have Houston in Chicago. I still might do Houston, Chicago. I did the ballpark. And then, Thursday afternoon at noon, it's the Red Sox and the Yankees from Fenway. Standings as we leave you. Pittsburgh by 2 over Philly. Los Angeles by 2 over Houston. Baltimore by a half game over the Yankees. The Red Sox are 2.5 back. Milwaukee 3.5. California 3.5 over Kansas City. Expect the other baseball game to be up about 9 o'clock tonight as we pay tribute to LK Line. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for that. And so we'll talk to you all later on. Have yourself a wonderful day.